or freak you out with a loud bonjour.
I mean, just, yeah. It all happened last episode, didn't it?
It was amazing.
Sounds good.
Yes.
That's a plan.
Anyway, this is Faith and, a Christian podcast exploring faith in real life with and for young people. I am Andy. She is Ruth.
True story.
And we've been doing this now, I worked out, for about 4.5, almost 5 months.
Yeah, because we started at the start of lockdown, didn't we?
Yeah. We've been going for almost 20 episodes.
We should have a celebration.
When we hit 25, we'll do a celebratory 25th episode.
Can we do a...
We'll have cake.
Okay. I was going to say we should do a weird challenge or something. Or... No, you do that on your own videos.
I've got...
Go check out his videos.
No, well, youchurchbarrow.com now. We do have a YouTube channel with that and some fun stuff.
Stop checking your phone!
It's because messages come in. I need to move
care.
it. Sorry, it's on my eyeline so I can see it. But yes.
Every episode.
That's not true. It's happened twice in 20 episodes or however many we've done by now.
Yeah, but before we were doing them via Zoom, I wasn't sat here looking at you checking your phone.
Yeah, no one could see us do that. But anyway, we're here now, live in the flesh, coming to you from a computer or video screen. Beautiful.
Or phone. Or...
Yes.
No, I'll stop.
Anyway.
So, today, it's top 5 time.
Woo!
Today's top 5. Andy, are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Excellent.
In the words of a famous movie, I believe I was born ready.
Well, that leads in very nicely. Today's top 5 is your top 5 movies of all time.
Easy.
No, I'm sorry. That is not an easy question.
Oh, it so is.
I'm going to disagree so much with you today.
Completely.
Excellent. Carry on. Number 1.
Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Prison movie. Always should be in your top 5. And of all the prison movies, that's probably one of the best.
Yeah.
So, Shawshank Redemption. Got good teaching points in there as well.
Yeah, you can use it.
Number 2, Jaws.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew it was coming. And no, not top 5.
It's not your top 5, it's my top 5. I absolutely love Jaws and a plastic shark. So yeah, maybe we'll get a plastic shark merch. Faith and plastic shark.
We need to start doing a background of things we've mentioned in episodes. So we need a plastic shark there now, don't we?
Okay.
Start doing that.
There we go. Maybe that's the thing you'll see coming into the future. In a future episode.
Look for a plastic shark.
Spot the things here. Anyway, so yeah, Jaws, Shawshank Redemption. Okay. Star Wars, and I'm going to go with all 9.
Yeah.
All 9 as a series, like you did with the Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's all right.
I'm banging that in there.
Yeah.
So Star Wars, I
Yes,
just love a Star Wars. One of my favourite birthdays ever, was back in the day. My mum took me and a couple of mates, and we watched the original 3 Star Wars back to back in the cinema.
That's good.
It was like my 9th birthday.
That's good.
And I got a big ship for it as well. So.
What a great birthday.
Exactly. Wow. I remember having the little Darth Vader with the lightsaber that slid out of his hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun memories. Should have kept all those toys. Bit of a mistake.
Regretting that now.
Yes.
Number 4?
4. Now this is going to get a little bit more controversial. And
more controversial than Jaws in your top 5?
Yes, because my kids hate me for this. Yeah. But my go-to movies, whenever I'm just want something on in the background, are the Transformers series.
No, Andy.
Now, remember...
Andy, no, I'm sorry.
No.
You cannot say these are some of the best movies of all time.
This is the reasoning, okay? You have to remember, I grew up in the 80s. I grew up with He-Man figures, A-Team figures, Transformers. Yeah? When they released those movies, I was on cloud 9 because it was like Transformers. And yeah, they're not the best movies in terms of storyline.
Really?
But it's Transformers. But anyway, okay, if you don't want me to have them in
I think I'm with your kids on this one.
Yeah. The next one you'll probably hate as well, because I'm going to link them again. I'm linking like 9 movies into one here.
Okay.
And I'm going all with the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit.
Oh yeah, no, okay.
The whole of that transition thing.
Yeah.
And I know they're two separate books, but they're pretty much the same story.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
so
all
I'm
the
linking them all
same
together.
kind of universe,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So
yeah, I'll give you them.
I would put them in. I mean, I could have put in things like the Indiana Jones stuff, but I don't go out of my way to watch them.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, so I think for me, if you watch a movie over and over and over again, it's up there.
So Transformers is there?
Yeah, exactly. That's my reasoning.
Okay.
Like Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
But when was the last time you watched it?
True.
So
it's a classic though.
But how can it be one of your all-time top fives?
But I have watched it several times.
But have you watched other movies more?
I don't know.
You know, it's like Beauty and the Beast, like the actual cartoon Beauty and the Beast.
Good.
Love it. But if I've got the remote control in my hand, and on that screen, you know, I'm on my own, and on the screen I'm thinking, what am I going to watch?
I tell you something new that I've watched recently, which I've watched several times already, is the new Aladdin.
Oh.
Worth a watch.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You didn't like it? I thought it was really good. I've watched it two, three.
I mean, for some people, The Greatest Showman will be one of the greatest movies of all time.
Well, that is true.
You know, it's not me. It's not my taste.
I liked it. I wouldn't put it in top 5 though.
You see, for me, Star Wars Transformers takes me back to my youth.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, you know, when I was growing up and the cool toys.
Yeah.
And things like that. And had the A-Team movie been better,
yeah,
you know, then I'd have watched that a few more times.
So I think we're going to have a lot of people disagreeing in the comments this time. So let us know what your top 5 movies are, why they're your top 5 movies, and what we need to go and watch. Let us know. Let us know, because at the end of the day, obviously you can tell my movie taste is rubbish, apparently, according to somebody and my kids. But anyway, that's that. Top 5 movies. Done. Nailed. In the bag. Exciting times. So, the reason for this verse, we're coming into this what does God say about type thing. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but the one phrase I've heard a lot from my own children and young people who I've spoken to is the words, I'm bored. So much. I'm bored. I've got nothing to do. Yeah. And that's all they say all the time. I'm bored. I've got nothing to do. From pretty much the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed, they've got nothing to do. And I can come up with a list of 100 things for them. But they still have nothing to do. Yeah, and they are bored. Yeah. And so they've been living life in a way that has made them bored. Yeah. And lockdown and the whole pandemic, I think, made people realise just how boring life was. Yeah. How repetitive life was. How we'd got into these rhythms of life that were the same day after day after day after day after day. And things were taken away, weren't they? Our freedom, you couldn't just go out and do whatever. And whether it was useful or good stuff that we were doing, that was still taken away from us. And so you get down to the core, kind of the basics of what your life is, and you suddenly go, oh, is this it? I think a lot of people have done that. I have to an extent. You know, yeah. And I think for me, that goes against everything that Jesus says that he is. Yeah. And so today I wanted us to look at a Bible verse, what Jesus says he came to do. Yeah. You know, to give us. And then what that looks like maybe for us compared to what he's offered. Yeah. You know. And so maybe let's take a minute to think about what life looks like now. Yeah. You know, frustrating. Yes. Boring. Routine. You know, we get up, we do the same thing day after day, even in lockdown or in whatever we're living in now. It's been a weird thing though, hasn't it? Because we had this life before lockdown of routine and things like that, and then it was all taken away and we've come back down to the basics, but in that we've sort of found a weird routine as well, but almost a routine of nothingness for a lot of people. Yeah. And that's why I think we're getting this bored comment and this I've got nothing to do, because we're suddenly going, what is life? What makes, and it comes back to this thing of identity again. What makes me who I am? What do I do with my time? Who am I? Exactly. And I think that is this key here. You know, but I think we've been living this routine life
And where we used to live it, and at least we thought we were living with all these multicoloured life, and it all gets stripped back, and now we're living in black and white.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is, imagine if your 4K TV, your HD definition, your high def suddenly got taken back to black and white.
Yeah.
And all you can see is black and white.
Yeah.
And that sort of, for me, is how lockdown has felt.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I'm about to say is going to throw Ruth completely because she doesn't like video games.
I mean, it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I don't play them. Let's not put me completely in that.
So, there's a video game called Limbo.
See, I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, and in this game, it's all done. It's a really quite new game. Like, we're not talking old retro. We're talking in the middle.
Yeah.
But this game, it's all black and white.
Yeah.
There's no music. And it's filmed in, like, the old Mario one, so it's 2D.
Yeah.
And all you are is a little boy who's stuck in limbo.
Yeah.
And you have to get to the end of each level.
Yeah.
But it's really frustrating because you can't see what's coming up. You know, the level doesn't explain itself. You have to work it out as you go, and you die as you go along. And it's just felt like lockdowns like that.
Yeah.
Like just black and white. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Repetitive. Yeah. Day after day, trying to get through the same little thing.
Yeah.
And then going,
feeling like you fail quite a lot and have to go back to the start. Yeah.
And then you get through it, and then you go right on to the next one.
Yeah.
And every level is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's the similar process. You have to do different challenges and things, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And that is what I think, for many of us, even looking back to our old lives before lockdown, felt.
Yeah, definitely. I think that thing of routine, I've been thinking about routine a lot recently because I'm someone who likes routine. I like a plan. I like to know what's coming next. But actually, is that a helpful thing all the time? Is it good? Because we can certainly get stuck in routine, can't we? And I think lots of times in my life I've got stuck in routines, and actually that hasn't been a healthy place to be in. Yeah,
and I think it's that balance of sort of that routine. The routine helps us.
Yeah.
But when the routine becomes what we serve, maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, I think it's this thing of control again, isn't it? That we talked about it with worry a few weeks ago. Of if that thing controls you, that's when it becomes a problem. That we still worry, but when the worry controls us and stops us from doing things, that's when it's a problem. And I think that's the same with routine. That routine can be a really good thing. It can motivate us. It can help us do more things. But actually, if we're being controlled by that routine and we can't get out of it, then it's a problem, and we need to start thinking something needs to change here.
Exactly. And so I think that for me is what life looked like beforehand. And even during lockdown, it's felt like that even more.
Yeah.
And then I come back to this Bible verse, and I only want us to read the second half of it. It's in John 10:10, but it says, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." I have come that they might have life and have it to the full. And that, for me, is just the opposite of what we've been living in lockdown.
Yeah.
Or what we've been living even beforehand.
Yeah.
You know, so what does it mean when Jesus says, "I have come so that you would have life and have it to the full"? You know, what does that mean? And for me, this is where I'm going to compare it to another video game. So there's a video game called Rayman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bright colours.
Yeah.
Jumping all over the place. Loud music. It's fun. It's cartoony.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a whole lot of fun to play. And you can play it with other people.
Yeah.
And it's just, great fun. And it's the complete opposite to the other video game.
Yeah.
And I think
I see what you've done here. Very good.
That, for me, is what it is.
Yeah.
Life was black and white, boring, monotonous. But it should be, with Jesus, this fun adventure, full of colour, full of life.
But then, what does that look like in the real world? So does that mean that we need to be going out every day and skydiving and doing something different every day and going to crazy places and all of that sort of thing? Is that what that then looks like?
Well, this is the thing. I don't think it is. I'm
so glad you said that.
Yeah. I think, we're called to enjoy life. And if you enjoy adventurous stuff and the idea of skydiving and things like that, hands up, off we go.
Yeah.
great. But I think when God says it's to have it in fullness, it's to have the enjoyment of your everyday life.
Yeah.
Every day. It's not just about these peaks and high moments where you go and do something and that's adventurous and you go, oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
But in the day to day, how do you live a full life?
I wonder if some of it comes down to relationship.
Yeah.
That as humans, we're made to be in relationship with God, but with other people as well. And so if we've got good, healthy relationships and people around us, as well as a good, healthy relationship with God, is that how we can live life to the full?
But I think it is, but I think it's also enjoying and living the moment.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. As I know, and that sounds very cliche, live the moment,
Yeah, I think...
But I think when you're in school, the tendency is, I've got to sit here, I've got to get through this. But actually, and you'll hear this coming up in our episodes to come, in a conversation with Pete and Bryony, she was talking about how you thrive in school, not just survive.
Yeah.
That's living life to all its fullness.
Yeah.
How do you blossom? How do you flourish? How do you grow in those places?
How do you be the best that you can be? I think that's part of it. It's not just doing great things that make you happy or give you the adrenaline rush or whatever, but actually, how can you be the best person? How can you be the person that God has made you to be?
Yeah. And I think that is what God is saying here. He's come so that we can have life. And when he says that, he's talking about our spiritualness, our spiritual life, that we can have an eternal life with God.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, and have it in the full.
Yeah.
And I think it's a two-level thing. So it's living the best life you can for God here on the earth.
Yeah.
But then also knowing that we have an eternal life with him. And that whole phase of you only live once, and things like this. And YOLO,
You just do that again.
YOLO. It did my head in, because actually, as a Christian, as someone who believes in God, we don't have one life.
Yeah.
We have this opportunity to have, firstly, a new relationship, which rubs away the old life here on earth.
Yeah.
But also an eternal life with God.
Yeah.
And I think that for me is the key.
Yeah.
It's God has given us this life in abundance.
Yeah.
And we're being called to live it, not just the monotonous, the day to day, but actually turning that day to day into that bright colour with God every day, and allowing God maybe to colour your life.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I was about to say, so what does that look like? How do you do that? Because that's hard sometimes, isn't it? That we do get stuck in these routines, and I don't think often the world around us encourages us to find that colour.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we step out of that? How do we step out of that normality and find joy and live life to its fullest? What does that practically look like?
I think for me, it comes down to our relationship with God, as you were talking about, and waking up each morning and going, you know what, God, I want to live today for you.
Yes. Yeah.
I want that day. I want today to be about you and what you want to do in me and through me. And then just giving him that day.
Yeah.
And saying, God, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is how God colours your life.
Yeah.
Because then he takes you on weird and wonderful adventures, and then he leads you to meet weird and wonderful people.
It's true.
And you have these wonderful stories to start talking about. And suddenly you realise that your life is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because of the simple fact one day you woke up and you went, God, today's your day.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next day and say, God, whatever you want today, I will do it.
Yeah.
That's
hard though. I fully agree. But I just want to encourage people that that's not an easy thing to do all the time. I would encourage you to try and do it every day as you wake up and think about God and start your day with him. But that's not easy sometimes.
Yes.
So keep trying, keep pushing, find people in your life who will encourage you in that and who will pray with you and for you, because that is really important. But if you're not doing it, or if you're finding it difficult for a day, a week, a month, don't be discouraged by that. Keep pushing on. Yeah,
definitely. And I think I would want to add into that. Take now as an opportunity to find new rhythms.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
You've been given an opportunity that you may never get back. to create a new way of life for yourself.
Yeah, everything is changing. I read a quote the other day that said nothing has been left untouched by this pandemic. Yeah. Nothing has been left untouched, and I think that's so true. So yeah, like you're saying, take this opportunity to do something different.
You know, whatever that looks like, but with God.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my caveat, but do it with God.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah, but discover what it means to rest. Where maybe you were overloaded with stuff.
Yeah.
Rest.
Work out what's important. Find those priorities in your life.
Yeah, and just find out what God wants.
Yeah.
And how He wants to colour your life.
Yeah. So spend time with God. I think we need to say that, because we're saying all these things of do these things for God, and we do that by spending time with Him, and that looks different for everyone. And we talked a little bit about it last week, but certainly for me, when I need that space, I go outside. I go for a walk, often on my own. Just to give myself that space away from my normal, away from my everyday, away from my house or my car or my work, to just go, okay, God, here I am. What now?
Yeah.
And so, that will look different for different people. Some people will find it easier to do that in church or with other people or through the Bible. So explore that in this time as well. How can you hang out with God? How can you spend that time with Him? How can you build your relationship with Him? Because the more we do that, the more we hear Him, and the more we know how He wants us to live our lives.
Yeah, and I would probably end today by saying all of that, and remember to go out and live your life for God to the fullest of your capabilities.
Yeah.
You know, so I would encourage you this week to go and live your best life for God.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. Spend time with Him, study Him, get to know Him.
Yeah.
And see the difference that He can make in your life, as He has for us, and He has for other guests that we've had on, and people we will have in the future.
Yeah. And let us know how God is working in your lives. We love hearing these stories, don't we?
We do indeed.
So get in contact, put it in the comments. However, we want to know how your life is changing, how you're living for the fullest, and what God is doing in your life. So
as always, we are Faith and we will see you next time round.